Fucking a UVTV motherfucker. I'm gonna kick spiritual ass and do this for my people. Oh God. Nigga, nigga feather me in. Today I'm gonna be talking about there is never gonna be an African American revolution doing it through patriot causes. And do not be taking what I'm saying to make it like some Dr. Umar pro black, whatever coon shit y'all be into for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like don't even try to make it like that either and stuff like that. Just look at patriotism like the revolutionaries or the Whigs or the nationalists and stuff like that. The only reason they even in that nationalist type of mentality is because they had to do colonization, and capitalism and commercialism is just the new age version of what they did based upon colonization. So it's based upon settling and putting you into a colony and stuff like that. So from them settling, they're going to make a settlement. Oh, we're going to settle here, even though this is someone else's land. And we already know they're settling here, but we feel the need to take over their land and stuff like that physically, because spiritually, we don't know how to take care of the land of where we at and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know how to take care of y'all own. And then look, this is not me trying to hate on motherfuckers based upon they're from Europe or whatever and stuff like that. No, it's just if you in that mind state in general. You know what I'm saying? If you in that mind state in general, all y'all gonna get the smoke. You know what I'm saying? All y'all gonna get the smoke if y'all in that mind state mind state in general and stuff like that, based upon patriotism and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you're thinking like a nationalist and you feel the need to have some type of nation by plucking from someone else's nation that was even yours and stuff like that. You're gonna basically bombard in someone else's lawn or bombard inside someone else's home and rob their shit type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like when a motherfucker robbing you and broke into your home and stuff like that and then end up taking all your shit, and then you have to deal with the consequences of what the fuck they did, even though it's showing their state of being from the fact they did it, just in general. And we know they did it on a higher percentage scale from their intentions, from a more degenerate state of being based upon a superiority complex and all that type of stuff, a God complex. But just in general, you already know how I be looking at black people and African Americans and stuff like that. We're basically like a walking wintertime and stuff like that. So y'all not trying to recreate that type of energy in your own territory, in your own little template, without utilizing the things based upon, you know what I'm saying, like the bills and the societal norm and the different things they have set up in society based upon business, religion, politics, entertainment, education, and culture and stuff like that, because they already done, you know what I'm saying, got a lot of different control over these things and then squared out a lot of these circles, squared up a lot of these different spaces and stuff like that. You can't see it beyond the Americana concept. The Americana concept is just the new world. Oh, some Christopher Columbus concept of let's make this the new world, the new aspect, and take from their land and stuff like that. Because in the old world and Eurasia and stuff like that, we wasn't able to even get settled and get along in our own little in our own world and stuff like that. So let's take over their land, even though they already got something set up for their own civilization, their own community, their own culture, their own world, their own atmosphere. Let's take things from the old world and take over this new world when it's really just new to y'all, not new to the people who are already there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only new to y'all. It's not new to the people who are already there. And that's all the Americana concept really is for the most part. Now, at this point, they done made it America, the whole melting pot. You know what I'm saying? They done made it like the Atlanta opportunity, and it's a big ass melting pot and stuff like that. Okay, at this point, yeah, it is what it is. But we ain't gonna just sit there and act like the reason why you in that position in the first place is because of that. And they probably don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, all they doing at this point is just kind of maintaining based upon what their ancestors done did and stuff like that. Their predecessors, they just maintaining what that is, but they ain't the predecessors itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't even in the same mentality they was in like 200, 400 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They're not even in the same mentality. You're just getting the benefit of what they already done did and stuff like that. Again, I'm not trying to get on motherfuckers who are just European. It's just if you're in that concept in general. It don't matter if you Asian. It don't matter if you African. It don't matter if you Arab. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in that mentality of what that is in general and stuff like that, yeah, you're gonna get this smoke. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it in general, yeah, they made y'all slaves back then, and then they made y'all slaves now and stuff like that. They made y'all actual slaves back then and stuff like that, based upon, oh, if you can't do it like how we want to do it and stuff like that, it's either join or die, sit down and lay down, and things of that nature and stuff like that. We're gonna make you a physical slave, and then now it's just mentally they're making y'all slaves based upon the different institutions you have to go through. Oh, if you want to make it in life, you have to go to college, you have to go to one of our universities and stuff like that. You have to go to one of our universities and stuff like that and get indoctrinated, get lost into our books and our authorship and our institutions and things of that nature. Oh, you have to be a part of our entertainment industries based upon how we set it up, based upon the American dollar bill and stuff like that, and what we feel like would cater to the billboard and the radio and stuff like that. Oh, you have to you have to be a part of our politics and how we like to go about our government. The government is just a governing mentality. That's just their governing mentality of how they look at how they want to rule stuff. Even though they just cosplaying stuff they learned from a whole bunch of other cultures and stuff like that, and just made the new version of what that is. You know what I'm saying? They're just filtering it through the new age concept of what they did to Americanize things. So them going against Catholicism or them going against Britain and stuff like that. That's like the simplest way to make that make sense. Okay, look at Catholicism, and that's the universal religion over there and stuff like that, right? And then look at Protestantism and all the other denominations is they were just going against whatever the traditional version of what Christianity was and stuff like that, which is just the crown. It's just British America and stuff like that. It was just the European concept of what they was doing over there in the old medieval times and stuff like that until they started to do the Christopher Columbus colonization aspect and do the Pilgrim Boat concept and all that type of stuff to where they at now. And we're just gonna make the new version from what we learned from all these other different cultures from interacting and you know what I'm saying, like settling or gaining more awareness to all the different aspects of the world and stuff like that, so we can make it a part of our worldview, so we look like, oh, we was first based upon the Age of Enlightenment and all that type stuff. When it's just when they got enlightened based upon the scientific revolution, replace the word science with technology, when they started to make up their own technology of how to look at things in the world, but they barely got a culture, they barely got creativity, they barely got the spirit for it and stuff like that. All your culture is just cosplaying for real. But like, that's really a whole different video. But like, yeah. But the main thing I want to focus on is just based upon African Americans and them trying to get that new age respiration, that new age liberation. And they feel the need to get their freedom. But y'all starting point, just from y'all being black loyalists and Buffalo soldiers and stuff like that, and helping them fight their wars, that's the thing that make y'all slaves still. Like, that's the thing that y'all did mentally and physically to make y'all slaves. And then from y'all trying to uphold that based upon Martin Luther King, Malcolm X concepts, even though they sold up too. That's why they wear a suit and tie. And they was both part of two different Abrahamic religions and stuff like that. One was part of a Muslim way of looking at it, and then one was part of the Christian way of looking at it. But they still under the Abrahamic God, the father of a multitude, the father of let's try to have multiple ways to colonize motherfuckers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So they got promised freedom by the British during the American Revolutionary War, which is a lot of the starting point before. I mean, that was a lot of the starting point the minute they started to colonize America and stuff like that. They already was colonizing and taking care of Africa and stuff like that. And it's not no thing where it's like, oh, motherfuckers was kings and queens and pharaohs and all that type of stuff. And we had our own culture. We had our own thing. We had our own world civilization because this and the third. And even if we did do that, okay, they took that over too and they replaced it with what the fuck I'm talking about right now, to the point to where y'all ain't even have no culture you can talk about without even referencing some type of pilgrim colonizer or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even able to, even if you go into history and stuff like that, your whole thing in itself is crafted from the fact they took y'all over because they felt like it was deserted. They felt like they basically felt like a lot of people from my phenotype, black people and things of that nature, y'all wasn't even doing shit with that land, so we gonna take it over and replace it with our concept, since you can't do shit with it and you can just be our little slaves or our underlings based upon our program or our institution or our way of how we look at stuff and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? From like the physical point of view of what that is. So just in general, from them being promised that freedom or that independence to be free flowing, you know what I'm saying? To be free spirited, self-reliant and efficient and stuff like that, because that's all freedom is, right? You can only be free under our template, our manuscript, the things that we set up. You can be a part of the free world, but it's a part of our worldview though. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you made. You're only free in our world, but the only way you can be uncrippled, because a lot of our history is based upon us being crippled to this day. It's just now we're more mentally crippled and we fought a lot of their wars and stuff like that. So now it's at a point to where, oh, okay, they're gonna be willing to give us certain civil rights and give us certain liberations and stuff like that because we helped them take over because we foreigners to this land and all that type stuff. That's why we African American and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They done got y'all in two different ways and stuff like that. They made it the concept of what the word Africa mean and stuff like that, and then they made it the concept of what it means to be American too. On top of that, you know what I'm saying? All the way down to them calling y'all Negroes and niggers and stuff. Negroes and niggers and stuff like that. Cause I botched that nigga. Yeah, I botched that, but we moved though. But in general, the American Revolution is just repeating extreme warfare tactics just to justify patriotism and stuff like that. So from them calling y'all Negroes and niggers and stuff like that, based upon the Spanish or the Portuguese or the different European languages they done made up to call African Americans and black people and stuff like that. That's something they calling y'all, not something y'all calling yourselves and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's only with the Europeans and the Native Americans and stuff like that, well, Asians too, and things of that nature, where it's a thing to where they're calling themselves something. It's not a thing when it comes to black people, African Americans and stuff like that. We're coming up with a name where we're calling ourselves. We're only calling ourselves something they made up, based upon some type of culture, based upon some type of language, just based upon some type of religion or spiritual system, just based upon some type of business and stuff like that, based upon some type of education institution. We're being educated from their concept first, not the other way around. And I know motherfuckers will be gonna be trying to fight it and be like, "Oh, black people so great. Black people be invented this. We be creating this. We be doing this and a third." Yes, that is true. But at the same time, y'all be not. Y'all basically kind of go against trying to recreate that, but without their concept, without it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have no thing to where we would have our own dollar bill and we would have our own little territory and stuff like that. And it's never gonna be some like black church type of thing and stuff like that. And what I mean by like black church, it's always gonna be catered towards some type of Jesus Jesuit Christ program and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I keep on making different examples of like, oh, entertainment industry, they do this. Oh, religion, they be doing this. The education industry and stuff like that, they be doing this. When it comes to businesses, they be doing this and stuff like that. Y'all don't have your own thing where y'all build yourself up. Okay, the entertainment industry, why can't y'all just make your own industries outside of their concept of what the industry is and stuff like that? And I understand and stuff like that based upon how things set up. We're not at that point yet, but y'all get the mind frame I'm trying to say though. You know what I'm saying? Like the mind frame I'm trying to say is y'all need to have a culture outside of that. I'm not saying things can't be open to where motherfuckers can't be a part of black culture in a sense or be a part of African American culture, but y'all need to have your own thing outside of what they calling y'all, because the minute y'all bring up, oh yeah, black excellence and black representation and stuff like that, that's some shit they calling y'all. So it's only gonna look in the mind frame of what they want y'all to be in that direction. Even if y'all feel like y'all having your own direction, it's still in a direction they set up though. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to Black Lives Matter, all that type of shit. So it's still in their like it's still in their mind frame. It's still in their manuscript of where they want it to go, so to speak. So even if you feel like you green and you going in a direction to where it's like, oh, I'm getting this liberation, respiration, you're only getting that in the concept of what they set up though. That's why they settled over here in the first place and stuff like that. And making it the land of opportunity for the resources and stuff like that. Okay, they're basically looking at your black ass as a resource and stuff like that. So it's like, y'all need to have your own resources outside of what the fuck they already done set up and stuff like that. Outside of the Americanized concept, which only going to lead to some type of capitalization. They're trying to capitalize on what the genuine real people doing for the culture and stuff like that. And you need to make your own culture outside of that concept in itself. You know what I'm saying? It go deep into many different facets and stuff like that. So y'all can have your own little territory so it could please y'all people. So you're not appealing to people outside of your people. I'm not co-signing segregation. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying y'all need to have y'all gatekeepers built up better to where all the men and women and children and stuff like that is going to go more that caters towards your race, your ethnicity and stuff like that. Now, we all on a spiritual race and we all have our own ace up our sleeves, aka ability based upon the type of race and phenotype and pigment, the mentality that you in, just in general and stuff like that, right? We all come out as different races and we all God's children, so to speak, and stuff like that to make things possible. But we need to make things possible based upon the certain environment and ecosystem and the space that we in, just based upon, are we African American? The same way, if you Asian, okay, Asian man gonna do Asian man shit, and then Native American gonna do Native American man shit, and European man gonna do European man shit, and that's the thing that's gonna appeal to them on a higher percentage scale. For the most part, they popping fireworks like a motherfucker, but for the most part, yeah, you have to do something that caters towards you and your people. That's why I be saying the shit in the beginning of my video and stuff like that. So it's gonna have some type of culture behind it, so people know how to be a part of your culture, but also know how to respect it in the right way as well. So niggas don't be, you know what I'm saying, try to dilute shit or pervert, not pervert, make things perverted, like make things misinterpreted, make things misused. They're not utilizing it in the right way. They're not promoting it in the wrong way and stuff like that. It's being represented the way it's supposed to be represented because the gatekeepers said so. You know what I'm saying? The gatekeepers set it up to where it's like, no, you have to talk about it like this because this is what we made, and you can't cosplay this. Is either you a part of what it is or you just a foreigner. You just an outsider to what that is, just in general. So look, all the way down to the American Revolution, right? Revolution is just you repeating and recreating evolution. And right, this will go at a more positive, productive type of mind state or a counterproductive type of mind state, right? This can lead to you being a revolutionary for something to where, based upon what you did that was new and progressive and innovating and stuff like that, right? You was able to change the way something was supposed to go. You was able to think outside the container, think outside the box and stuff like that to make the container bigger, to create some new type of way, new type of pocket, new type of lane to actually fulfill based upon, you know what I'm saying? What you done created, so we can praise that creation and we like, oh shit, this is actually very helpful towards people to keep on make God being part of earth. Just look at God as all possibilities. So more possibilities and more things can be created to make things, you know what I'm saying? Like we can broaden our awareness and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We can make things easier, make things more productive, make things more possible and stuff like that. So we can gain more awareness, and then it's going to add more intelligence to make it so we can start thinking beyond just humans and stuff like that. And we can, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone making their own world, make it actually come to life and stuff like that. But it's going to make the overall world better. And that's bringing heaven on earth, just in general. You bringing heaven on earth is just bringing the atmosphere on earth. The same way how you look at the mechanism, the atmosphere is always constantly going and changing and stuff like that. And that's like a mechanism. You able to bring God or the overall mechanism, all possibilities, all of creation up on earth. And you made this world a better world, and we able to create more. It's going to lead to more species. It's going to lead to more creativity. It's going to lead to more money. You know what I'm saying? It's going to lead to more businesses and stuff like that. It's going to lead to better spiritual practices and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to lead to lessening the percentage scale of a whole bunch of different bad people or degenerate people in the world and things of that nature. Now, that's always going to be a thing. It's always going to be crazy folks. But like, you get what I'm trying to say. It's more higher on a percentage scale. So revolution is just repeating / recreating evolution, right? And then it leads to transforming something or changing something, but for the better. Now, the degenerate way of how they be doing it based upon revolution, right, is drastic, extreme, radical, rebellious type of change. You know what I'm saying? Causing an uprising. You know what I'm saying? Having to be revolting. So it's like, oh, some counterculture shit. Oh, I have to go against the government because of this, that, and the third. No, it's not that. You need to try to make the government better, not trying to cause an uprising and causing like some World War III type of concept or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I gotta genocide, kill a whole bunch of different folks and stuff like that to cause anarchy so we can make this order be out of order, so it's all out of control and stuff like that. No, it's a mechanism. No, you need order and you need chaos, but not no thing to where it's like y'all think like Joker. Y'all think like Joker, and then the whole world just need to function off of chaos and stuff like that. No, you just a degenerate, and you like run the world based upon degeneracy because that's the world that you live in. Not everyone else want to live in that world. You still need some type of orderly fashion mechanism going on and all that type of stuff. So just in general, that's the more degenerate version, counterproductive version of starting a revolution and stuff like that. So what anybody acting out in rebellious, extreme energies, anytime you feel the need to overly do something, that means you're overcompensating for something in general, and you can't just be it itself. You know what I'm saying? That means you're like doing too much. You're in that bitchy, needy type of energy. You're overdoing something. You know what I'm saying? You're overestimating somebody's capabilities and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, You're overwhelming yourself. If you feel the need to do something at an extreme, it means you're overcompensating yourself. It basically means, yeah, like what I just said, like you're overcompensating something to where you don't have to do it that extreme. You can't just, why can't you just be yourself? Like, why you feel the need to do that? It makes you come off like a crab motherfucker. You're only going that hard because the minute we start to move through the layers in that tough, thick skin of how you want to come off and stuff like that, we see you soft as marshmallows and stuff like that. We see, no, you just a pussy. No, you just a bitch and stuff like that. You're only overcompensating like that, so we don't see your vulnerabilities, so you don't feel like you exposed and all that type of stuff. So you only acting like that to blind people from your insecurities, but from you acting in that nature and you overly doing it, all you doing is just showing how unstable you are. All you showing is how insecure you are, because after a while, based upon those different uh characteristics that you displaying, you have to keep up that mask. You have to keep up that character. And then after a while, spiritually speaking, after a while, a motherfucker gonna get tired trying to play the same character and cosplaying all the time and stuff like that. Eventually, they just want to be genuine. They just want to be themselves. Eventually, they gonna get tired of manipulating the situation so it go in their favor and things of that nature, to where, oh, I want y'all to see me as this role model, this icon, or I have to be looked at in this way and stuff like that. I can't show people when I go through my setbacks. I can't show people when I be going through shit because of this, that, and third. I only have to show me being happy. I only have to show the highs and stuff like that. I can't show them the lows. That's you going against life. Just in general, it's about the highs and the lows and what you learn from the highs and the lows and stuff like that. It's not about just being in one space. It's you being able to officially work things out regardless of what space you in. So it don't matter if you depressed. It don't matter if you trying to be a part of the world, moving to the right. It don't matter if you trying to be out of left field and stuff like that and trying to create something new. It don't matter if you trying to be optimistic. It don't matter if you moving backwards or you regretting or being regressive and stuff like that. It don't mean if you trying to move forward or trying to be progressive in something like that, and you trying to burn through reality. It don't matter what space you in and stuff like that. You just gonna be able to still do the things that you need to do to make things accounted for, to make things comfortable for you, for you to make the world that you in and you making it a part of the overall world just in general. So you just genuinely being your natural state of being, state of awareness, and you just being yourself, and then that's really it. You know what I'm saying? Anything else is just cosplaying. Anything else is just you trying to manipulate the situation. Anything else is just you doing it for low-hanging fruit type of reasons, and it's never gonna be everlasting. So you could get $1 million right now, and I could shoot you in the head, shoot you in the heart, and stuff like that. You can't take none of that shit with you. So what does that say? What's important? You getting lost into the creations instead of trying to be the observer and trying to be the creator. So you can create more, and you getting lost into one of your thoughts and feelings, one of your creations. So I'm not saying motherfuckers ain't gonna be able to go to war. I'm not saying motherfuckers ain't going through spiritual warfare and stuff like that. But once you do it for degenerate reasons to where other people get harmed, and you start subjecting that so much and stuff like that, if you're subjecting harmful energies towards others, that means you harming yourself in so much shape and form. And motherfuckers don't like being harmed. Motherfuckers don't like being hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the minute you start doing it at extreme to where you start doing it physically and stuff like that, and then it's your intentions. Like, it's not on some, oh, you're trying to defend yourself type of energies and stuff like that. Or you're acting in self-defense. No, you're purposely trying to attack a motherfucker to make them feel something because it's based upon what you felt and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? You just like being in hell. You know what I'm saying? You just like being on demon time. You just like acting like a demon too much for the most part. So that's just the positive and negative version of being a revolutionary. Now, based upon the American Revolution, we can already see, oh yeah, they did it more on some degenerate type of timing. So just from that starting point, it's not going to work out in the favor they probably think it is. It don't matter how it looks in the physical, spiritually speaking, is always going to get rejected just based upon the starting point of why y'all did it, based upon the first intent of why y'all did it, of why y'all was trying to be 21st century Protestants and stuff like that. Okay, you was protesting against the European or the Catholicism and stuff like that. You was just going against whatever the traditional way of how they was doing it over there, and you chose to get inspired enough to go away from your land and get settled on someone else's land, even though it was someone else's land. So you just took over. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's all that is. So it just leads to, yeah, like revolution just means like revolving. Revolving is like a cycle, a mechanism, a process, running in circles. You orbiting something, a rotation, a circumference, a curve. So from you trying to feel like y'all moving ahead of the curve and stuff like that, the thing you was basically revolving around was repeating or recreating evolution. You was repeating the same shit over and over. You didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think you on some type of new type of mechanism and stuff like that, and I'm doing this for the sake of human evolution and stuff like that. And man was the most intelligent, and man was here for this, and man was here for that. When we see an overall mechanism, what the atmosphere is doing, based upon the seasonal transitions, based upon the celestial bodies, the sun and the moon, the sky, the atmosphere, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We see an overall mechanism based upon Mother Nature and all that type of stuff. We see that on a broader scale, and it don't matter how y'all try to make it look. It don't matter if y'all try to say, oh yeah, we've been on the moon. It don't matter if you try to make it look like some other shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't turn the sky red, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't block out the sun. You ain't gonna try to, and then don't even get no ideas trying to do that either. Trying to block out the sun and moon, all that type of degenerate ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And try to make the sky turn yellow whenever the fuck y'all want and stuff like that, and stopping the moon phase from waxing and waning. No, it's gonna do it on those particular days because it's that particular pocket, that particular shift on that particular mechanism and stuff like that and process. The minute you try to stop the process, it's just showing you out of order and you don't like working with the process. You have to trust the process, not trust people and shit. You know what I'm saying? You get lost into the expectation, anticipation type of energies and stuff like that. But just in general, right? When you go to war, it's just you being at odds or opposing. So you lack you lack the ability to make things even. So you gotta fight. And the minute you start fighting, that's y'all having friction. That's y'all struggling to even out the odds and stuff like that. Y'all like causing unfairness. Y'all like causing unbalance, and y'all like causing confusion and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So from y'all making things complex instead of making things simple and then trying to make it complex, that's when y'all get lost into a God complex. From y'all getting lost into a God complex, y'all try to be all possibilities when there's no such thing as that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all always gonna do things in a imperfectly perfect type of way, but that is being perfect. That you have to understand the whole scope of it though. Y'all be looking at shit like a dichotomy and stuff like that. The only way to be perfect is to be imperfect. That's it. So you just have your perfect way of how you like to go about it. You have your own mechanism. And then the only thing that's constant in life is change. So it's never going to go in the exact same way, or it's never going to be in the exact same pocket and stuff like that. But it's still you being able to create and maintain the order, maintain the pocket by understanding the process, by understanding the mechanism and stuff like that. Not you being a superiority God complex and stuff like that, where on a higher percentage scale, you're trying to be self-serving instead of just being of service. So you have to understand that sometimes you have to be selfish, and then sometimes you have to think beyond just yourself based upon what you done created and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To where you can help another motherfucker who crippled so they can be in a better position, and you're not in some ego or some character and stuff like that to where no one else could be better than you and things of that nature. No, at that point, you have to see actions to prove who's going to be better based upon how long he was able to keep something up, to keep something everlasting and keep it maintained and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So just in general, right? That's why, based upon because what was my next point? Oh yeah, like the black loyalists, right? So when it comes to like the black loyalists, because it goes into my next point and stuff like that, right? Based upon them thinking, based upon the Americana concept, y'all being in this God superiority type of concept because of how y'all look at things physically, spiritually speaking, you trying to put yourself in a hell and stuff like that because you trying to make the world be dictated from your point of view, your worldview, when that's not in reality. You have people outside just your world. That's why everyone has their own perspectives, their own worldviews and stuff like that. So as we can see, there's things beyond just your way of looking at it, and that's just spirituality, the actuality of believing in something beyond just your space. So it's just the whole, you know what I'm saying? It's just the overall space, the overall world, universe, or whatever. Like, whatever the fuck you want to call it, all possibilities, the potential of everything going, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything has to be accounted for and stuff like that. All the possibilities of how that could go and stuff like that. So we're here to make things that are unseen and make it be seen. We're trying to make things that look impossible and make it possible, so we can make different pockets to be fulfilled, so we can keep on creating and stuff like that. And God, all possibilities like to see you try to be a creator. You try to have your own realm of reality. You try to make things for yourself, but not something to where everything just caters to your realm of reality and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why everyone trying to go through a whole little spiritual warfare, because we all trying to take over different spaces, because our individual space is just our soul. We all trying to fulfill that pocket first and stuff like that. It's just not always going to go in your way of how you look at it. And when y'all try to have things as a unit and everyone try to be a part of that same creation or that same culture or whatever and stuff like that, the better. And you're able to respect other people's cultures and other people's territories of what they're trying to maintain, and it's never gonna try to impede on other people's ways of how they like to go about things. It's just their culture, it's just their way of how they go about things and stuff like that. I'm not trying to say people ain't gonna have friction every now and then, but on a higher percentage scale, it can stop all that degenerate type of reasons to go to war with somebody and stuff like that, based upon the Americana concept and settling on other people's land, even though they was already settled, they was already straight and stuff like that. It's like you had to do it by force, basically. Like from you doing it by force is the problem. So from you forcing something, that's like like from you basically just doing it by force. From you doing it by force, you can't just naturally just be you. Why you gotta force yourself to do it? You know what I'm saying? All the way down to what the law enforcement be doing and things of that nature. That's not me trying to be counterculture. That's not me trying to go against the government and stuff like that. I'm basically trying to say y'all trying to go against godly laws, for the most part. Like you can't. I don't know why y'all can't just. You know what I'm saying? Like based upon like godly laws and stuff like that, right? It's only gonna be dictated to God. It's gonna be dictated to all possibilities. Okay, you can create a possibility to where someone could not even do that around you. You can make a whole different creation, whole different. You know what I'm saying? You can make a whole different space to where if you want to act degenerate and stuff like that. Okay, we're gonna make a city. We're gonna make a certain country, not a country, but like a certain state or like a certain city or whatever. If you want to go to degenerate countryville, you can do all the degenerate shit in the world. You have the free will, the free liberation to do that and stuff like that. The same way how we have free will, just in general. So we able to freely act the way we want to act. You know what I'm saying? You have to impose that yourself. You have to act on that yourself. So if a motherfucker want to do some degenerate shit, do some murderous shit, okay, you have to go to this location, and we don't like to be free flowing over here. We don't like to do that in this certain territory. We don't like to do this in this space, so we're gonna move you here, and you have to do that there and stuff like that. Not no thing to where it's like, yeah, you could be a part of our society and stuff like that, and if you go against the law that we're trying to create based upon law enforcement and us putting you in a jail, all you doing is putting yourself in a mental jail cell and stuff like that. Anybody who want to put somebody in jail, you just putting yourself in a mental jail cell because you like to lock people up. That means you locked up mentally. You can't be spiritually free. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be free flowing and stuff like that because you worry about other people's shit. You know what I'm saying? You're like in a pig mentality. From you being a pig mentality, that's like you overindulging. You're feeding too much into some bullshit. You feed it into, oh yeah, you have to go by the law based upon we done made and stuff like that because you have to do it like this. You have to do it like this. Nigga, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So we should have some circumstance to where we can do it in certain pockets if you want to do that specific thing. That's like you being a part of the music industry. Okay, if you do music, I want to get paid for my music. I'm going to be a part of the music industry, or I'm going to be independent and work with my people on that and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And create our own independent industry. You get it? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's simple shit like that. Like, so all the way down to y'all trying to be 21st century black loyalists and stuff like that. Okay, what were the black loyalists? The black loyalists was just people who helped fight their wars during the American Revolution, and they resettled them. The crown resettled them and stuff like that. The crown just represents Europe during the time. Well, it represents British America during the time, and them representing England and things of that nature, right? That's the crown. And then once you get crowned something, like you being the king of the South, like T.I. or some shit like that, being crowned is like you being at the top, you being the best, you being above the horizon, you being all possibilities in that realm of reality for the most part. You being the most broad, you being the most consistent, you being the most seen, the most frequent, the most progressive. You know what I'm saying? You the one who's being exalted. You the one who's being praised. You the one who's being promoted and stuff like that. From y'all being in that king queen type of ego and stuff like that to where y'all just like, oh yeah, like even though I understand it, like, you know what I'm saying? I understand it. Like they're just in that kingship type mentality, and that's their way of running things when it comes to Europe and stuff like that. And then based upon the black loyalists, there was basically like slaves and shit like that. So from them being slaves, they're like, okay, go fight these wars and try to, you know what I'm saying? Like take over these people's land, even though we all foreigners on this land, Native American land and stuff like that. We all foreigners and stuff like that. Oh, if you help us fight against them and be loyal to our cause and stuff like that, okay, we're going to help you not be slaves because you help confuse and take over and beat the odds when it comes to that. physically speaking, like physically you helped us do that because of this, that, and the third. Spiritually, mentally speaking, y'all gonna be going to hell. Y'all gonna be fucked up. And then look, I don't even look at hell the way y'all be looking at hell and stuff like that. Y'all be going to hell every fucking day and stuff like that. That's like going on the highway of hell and stuff like that. It means you get stuck into a pocket. You get stuck into a mechanism. You get stuck into not a mechanism. You get stuck into a certain thought and feeling. You get stuck into a pocket of time. That's like you being lost into nostalgia, but you're not trying to make new experiences for yourself. You get caught up into your corrections. You get caught up into your old experiences. That's going to hell. When you don't know how to let that thing go so you can create something more, and then you have some more nostalgia to have and stuff like that. You have more memories to look back on based upon what you did and what you created for yourself for the most part. So y'all gotta stop being 21st century black loyalists and 21st century Protestants and stuff like that, and try to make y'all own spiritual system, culture, territory to where it serve y'all people. So y'all never be on some shit like when y'all be looking at the Grammys and stuff like that. Oh, it's just this white music. You know what I'm saying? Like this music industry made by Jewish motherfuckers and stuff like that, and they never get it right, and they always calling black people urban music and all that type of stuff and progressive R&B and things of that nature, and they don't know how to represent. No, how about y'all make your own thing outside of what the fuck they talking about? So it basically serves, it basically caters towards y'all culture the most. Urban people, black people, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So it's not gonna be no thing to where you have to wait on boss man. You have to wait on them to resettle you and stuff like that. Okay, you and your own people are already trying to work together for the most part, to where it's not gonna be no thing to where you have to wait on someone outside your culture to make sure your culture is actually good and you're gonna get that restoration, that liberation and stuff like that. It's just you and your people talking, and then you like, oh, okay, we trying to do this. Are you gonna support us and help us do this and stuff like that? And it's gonna be that actual real representation because y'all both have the same mentality, y'all both part of the same race, and y'all both have the same outlook on things because of this, then, the third. To make that get blown up and be bigger and stuff like that, and not thinking based upon some type of patriotic nationalism cause and stuff like that. Oh, I gotta settle and take over other people's lands and cultures, and you know what I'm saying, try to be on some race bait type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I have to go against other people's cultures, other people's religions, other people's ways of how they go about things and stuff like that when I don't even understand it. Nigga, I'm a foreigner to that shit. So why the fuck am I even gonna cast judgment on this, that, and the third when I don't even know the starting point to why they do that in the first place? It's for them and those people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really that simple, bro. Like,